Hello, Papercut here with another replay review. On the A4 Reddit, we had Corner Tiger here, who posted that he is struggling with Zushi's legacy. He does a really fast castle, and he feels like he loses to crossbows in Siege, and he doesn't know what to do. As of a lot of these posts that I see, there's actually often things before it gets to the crossbow or Siege, or until it gets to the problem stated. So we want to look at what could he do differently based on his game plan. I don't want to change his game plan if possible, but what does he need to do differently to make his game plan succeed, and learn from that and give him like tips for his future games. So what's good news for him is that we want to, before we jump in, I want to think of the map. He's on, what's it called, Canyon? It's that map that's really, really small. Like, let me reveal. So like, you and your opponent are very close to each other. There's a lot of resources on the map, but you and your opponent are very close. So actually, rush strategies work really well on this map because you have a very short distance to cover. So if you're going to do a castle rush with Ayyubids, your goal should be to be pumping Ghulams and you just rush his base. And you have to be unafraid to rush his base, and you need good scouting to see where the stuff in his base is so you can do targeted attacks. So let's see how you open. Straight to the berries. When you run out like that and they're right in front of your base, just click and send the sheep back to your base so you're not carrying them around in case you lose your scout. And they'll just walk back to the base. They'll just walk back. Make sure you always have your vills rally to a resource. Now, I know you're probably rallying here to build a House of Wisdom. Just in case, I would rally him to the sheep in case for some reason you're not paying attention and you miss it. Second, you also have this villager who is on the house, not doing anything. So here's my suggestion. The villager you have built the house, shift click and have them build the House of Wisdom after they're done with the house. The next villager that comes out should go to whatever resource the build order says it should go on, which apparently is gold. So next time, I would just have the villager make the house, then the House of Wisdom, and the next villager that comes out does the gold mine. Bring around town, no issues here. So I do have a small issue with how you split your villagers to start, because you're having a slower age than you should. You went 6 on food, 3 on gold, and then you put your 7th on food. In reality, you start with 100 gold. You should actually, if you want to be super efficient, you should probably do 1 villager building the gold mine, 1 to food, 2 to gold, 2 more to food. But basically, I would get the 7-8 on food before you even touch gold, and then do 3 on gold, which would probably get you a more even castle timing. I mean, a feudal timing. Because look at this gold you're stacking, you could have been going up already. And when you're trying to rush castle, every second matters. Let me just see what your split for castle rush is going to be. So you need enough on wood to get up to castle. I mean, you need enough on wood to build production. You're already making 2 spears. I wouldn't make spears. What do you see? You see your opponent's already pre-outposted, so he's wasted wood there. Unless, here's my suggestion. Unless you see him drop his stables, do not build a spear. Because you're wasting food. That is 120 wood wasted. It's 40 wood wasted that you don't need because you don't need that unit. Now, if you circle around and you see a stables, so that's your first mistake. You need to go all the way around his base and check to know if you need to make those spearmen. Then come back, drop off your sheep, and then come back and keep circling his base. Like, you want to know what he's doing. But these spearmen serve no purpose. Make sure if you have them on straggler trees that you, before you leave, shift click them to the wood line. So when they're done with the straggler trees, they automatically go to the wood line. But I would say you need 4 on wood. If you want to do a Ghulam rush and you just need to build barracks and houses, 4 on wood. 16 on food is fine. Now you need to start rallying to gold, because when you go up into the next age, you want plenty of gold to get your upgrades. So at this point, yeah, catch what's over here, but you need to be at your opponent's base by the time you're going up the castle. And then you can do a spearman rush, but here's the thing. You're sending your spearmen in with no clue of what to do with them. You feel me? Once again, make sure you're shift clicking. So once again, you're not having villagers rally to a resource. They're just kind of standing here. And that's a waste of time. That's a waste of resources. Or that's a resource you're not getting. So you're clicking up and you send your spearman in, and since you didn't scout, you don't know where to attack. You know he's on gold back here, you know he's on food right here, but does he have any production? Like, what is he doing? So without that info, you're kind of stuck. You kind of walk in and then you walk out. Once again, this spearman we not needed. Then you drop 2 stables, and I'm not for this. The reason being is your good unit is Ghulams. A Ghulam rush is effective even if they start building counter units, because if you can get enough Ghulams out, you just overwhelm them. Ghulams do a lot of damage. They can hold up against most of the units and numbers, so just rush Ghulams. Knights are expensive. Horsemen you don't need until he starts getting a mass. So in this case, I would have dropped 2 barracks, and you need to be dropping these barracks before you hit castle. Like, you should be hitting castle with 3 barracks. Look at all this wood. You have way too much wood. You don't need this much wood. So 4 barracks. But really, you should be 3 barracks and a blacksmith. That's what you should drop the second you hit. That's what should be down. And you're pumping Ghulams, and you're getting the arrow defense upgrade. You want the arrow defense upgrade so that you can take more damage running under TC. And next Cardinal Sin, you start making farms. So here's the problem. When you are the aggressor, which you're trying to be the aggressor here, you should take your resources. Every farm is 75 wasted wood that you could use on something else. You have these berries here. You have these berries here. You have this deer pack here. There's probably more berries or a deer over here. So you have plenty of food to get that would allow you to mass Ghulams. Really, you should keep 4 on wood, and 4 should be on gold. You should have 8 on gold right now, and then you're just rallying to food. Look at all the sheep you have. Look at all this food source right here you have. Use your food sources. Get wheelbarrow, because you want your villagers to move quickly, and use your resources. Use your resources. But your opponent hasn't hit castle yet, so you have time. Imagine if you were pumping 3 golems at a time out of these 3 barracks that you should have, and you should be walking immediately, like in groups of 3. Don't wait for a mass, just go, because the longer he's not in feudal, the worse he can do. The longer he's in feudal, the worse he can do. Once again, farms are slow food. They're safe and they're infinite, but they're slow food. This is faster. This is faster. This is much faster. Faster food, more units. And you don't have enough on gold, so you can't actually continuously make Ghulams if you had 3 barracks. Then you go for a second TC, which I get why. But I don't think it's the goal of your plan. I think the goal of your plan is to get in. Instead, what you're doing is that you're going to lose 750 resources going for a second TC. Those 750 resources could be units flooding into your opponent's base right now. And also, once again, scouting. Okay. Now you're going to go in. Once again, no blacksmith upgrades. I like how you're getting the relics. Get the relics. That's huge. Grab the relics while you're doing this pressure. There's the blacksmith. Great. Cool. So you're getting it just in time. Once again, if you got this early, you could have got both. You walk in. There's no units. Dude, no units. Why'd you run? Why are you running? Let's check. He has no military. This is his first military building. He can build monks, but who cares? You get enough Ghulams in there, those monks die. This is something that happens a lot at Gold Elo, which I didn't say at the beginning, but Corner Tiger and Stupid Pig, the Battle of the Animals, they're both gold. And something I noticed, and I've coached plenty of gold players now, so this is definitely a trend, is that gold players are often afraid of, and this is true of many other ranks, afraid of running into the TC. This TC hurts my units. Yeah, but it is better to sacrifice your units and kill villagers than to save this army. You could have run in here and killed these villagers and stopped them from making the archery range, then you keep running and getting these villagers, and then you run and get these villagers, and you idle them. If he has no villagers that can collect resources, he can't make anything. Then all you do is you just rally what you should have by now, 4, 5, 6 barracks. You have so much on wood. You could just be rallying Ghulams in. I have lost this way. I have lost many times to a Ghulam rush as China, where I know Zushi's legacy, but same concept here, where I couldn't do anything. Once he had 12 Ghulams just running around my base, I literally could not get food or anything, and I had to quit. Instead, you backed up and gave him space. Let me tell you, he is relieved right now. He is relieved that you backed up, because he saw his life flash before his eyes, and now you just gave him time. And guess what Zushi's legacy and China are really good at doing? They're really good at getting units out quick. The Imperial officials allow them to, they can observe these and get the units out way quicker. You also are letting him get relics with the Shaolin Monastery. Now you go in, and then you run away again. Why are you running? His food source is right here. His gold's right here. So this lack of aggressiveness is what's going to get you killed. Because now he's vacuuming up relics. He's getting out counters, which knights and siege and crossbows counter this. Easy. And you sit here. And you give him time. And then you build a forward siege workshop, which you should never do. But like until you are sure you have map control, you should have built that like here. Along your golden age. Like you just don't want to be building things away from your town. Once again, this is so much wood wasted on farms. You had all this food. You're building walls. Actually, he has knights, so build walls. That's fine. But like, build walls that give you space. You could have built a wall here, built a wall here, and here, and now you have all this space. And now he has too much. Now he has too much. And really, here's what you do. If you have a mass and he comes in with nest of bees, you have two options. You back up, or you had horsemen. Just double click on your horsemen and run them forward and kill this nest of bees, and then have them attack the crossbowmen. And here's how you do that. You double click on a horseman, it gathers all your horsemen. You right click on the nest of bees, they'll charge it. Then you right click around the crossbowmen, click A, click left click, now they're attacking the crossbowmen. But so you didn't have the units attack the correct thing. Horsemen do extra damage against nested bees. And you know what your opponent doesn't do? Oh, he actually gives you time. Your opponent should not have walked away. He should just walked in at that point. But once again, it's the lack of aggressiveness, right? So now you're making units, and I want you to notice you are stuck because you don't have food. You don't have the food. You have more villagers, but you don't have the food to make units because you have 37 on wood and you've gotten 800 stone. Not quite enough to... But you don't have the food and you don't have the production. You have all this wood. You should have 5 more production buildings. And once again, you're fighting. Think about what you're doing. You've built archers who don't do anything against lancers. You have horsemen who should be on the crossbows in the siege, but you don't send them forward. And you have the horsemen fight lancers. So it's not only that, it's you're not using the correct units on the correct counters. You're still up. But since you took 2 fights where you didn't fight the correct units on the correct units, you lost. That's the game. So overall, if you want to do a castle rush and a gulam rush, that is a strong strategy. You have to commit. First, scout so you know what your opponent's stuff is. Does he even have military up? 2, send those gulams in. Sacrifice them. It is better to idle his economy, kill villagers. And then once he's been idle for a while, then you rally up a bunch of gulams. Just drop some rams and go in. Drop 2 mangonels, go in. You don't need a second TC. Your economic lead will come from you doing economic damage on him. But really, you had that game in the bag. If you just were aggressive and stayed in his base and had made the right decisions aging up. Less on wood, more on food and gold, more barracks, commit to just overwhelm. I know you feel like, well, gulams are going to be kind of X by crossbow, so I need horsemen. Sometimes it's better not to pre-do the counter. Don't get horsemen until there's too many crossbowmen. Or you could just do mangonels. Gulams and mangonels is a great side by side. But since you pre-made horsemen, you didn't need them. Gulams could have survived way better under the town center than horsemen did. But anyway, I don't think it's Zushi's Legacy's problem. It was your actions leading up to your push and then your actual aggression, which lost you the game. And then lastly, as I mentioned, make sure you fight the units onto their counters. If you make horsemen, they should be rushing past the front line into the back line to kill siege and archers while your gulams fight in the front. I hope that was helpful. And if you're ever interested in private coaching, I do private coaching. Check the description on this video. Message me on Discord. And good luck on your future games.